The mango tree bore sweet fruit, but for Akello and Musa, it was the birthplace of dreams. Akello's mother often spoke of her sister, who had died giving birth due to a lack of medical care. Akello grew up determined to prevent such tragedies. Musa's motivation was different. He wanted to prove that even the son of a struggling farmer could rise above his circumstances. Together, they dared to dream of a better future. Every evening after school, the two would sit under the tree, Akello teaching Musa concepts she had grasped in class. Though Musa struggled with numbers and science, his empathy and natural charm were unmatched. Doctors aren't just about medicine, Musa often said. We're about people. Life in Kawanda revolved around the seasons. During planting, everyone worked tirelessly in the fields, and during harvest, the village came alive with celebration. Musa's father, Okot, was a respected farmer, but a drought had left the family in debt. Akello's family, slightly better off, often shared their grain with the Musas. Despite hardships, the children of Kawanda found joy in simplicity. Musa and Akello joined friends to play football with a ball of knotted banana leaves. Even then, Musa was a leader, rallying the team with laughter and encouragement. School was a privilege in Kawanda, and Akello and Musa knew it. Their teacher, Mr. Okello, saw potential in both of them. You two are like the roots of a strong tree, he often said. Stay grounded, and you'll grow tall. But Akello's confidence in class was often met with resistance from boys who believed education wasn't for girls. Musa defended her, once standing up to a boy twice his size. She's smarter than all of us combined, Musa quipped, earning laughter from the class. Akello blushed, but silently vowed to work even harder. One evening, as the setting sun painted the sky orange, Musa and Akello made a solemn pact under the mango tree. We'll both become doctors, Akello said, her voice steady. No matter what happens, we'll find a way. Musa nodded. No matter what, even if the world turns upside down. They sealed the promise with a handshake, their dreams bound by the roots of the tree that sheltered them. As they approached adolescence, the simplicity of childhood gave way to the complexities of growing up. Akello noticed Musa's laughter wasn't as carefree as before. His family's financial struggles weighed on him. Okot had taken a loan from a wealthy merchant, Mr. Mugisha, but the drought left him unable to repay. Akello tried to cheer Musa up with study sessions and playful banter. You'll be a great doctor, she said. The best. Musa smiled, but doubt lingered in his eyes. Mr. Mugisha visited Musa's family, proposing they sell part of their land to clear the debt. Okot refused, knowing the land was their lifeline. Musa overheard the conversation and felt a crushing sense of responsibility. He began working odd jobs, from herding goats to repairing roofs, to help his father. Akello noticed Musa growing distant. One day, she confronted him. Why didn't you tell me? She asked, hurt evident in her voice. Musa sighed. Some battles I have to fight alone. One evening, as they walked back from a village festival, Musa hesitated before speaking. Akello, do you ever wonder if we're more than just friends? Akello's heart raced, but she kept her composure. I think about it, she admitted softly. Under the mango tree, Musa took her hand. I don't know how, but I want us to figure it out. Together, the promise of love added a new layer to their bond, but they agreed to keep it secret. They feared it might complicate their shared dreams. Balancing love, ambition, and family struggles proved challenging. Akello excelled in school, while Musa's grades began to slip. Akello tried to help, but Musa's pride often got in the way. I don't need saving, he snapped one evening, then immediately regretted his words. Akello's tears fell silently. I'm not trying to save you, Musa. I'm trying to keep us both afloat. One day, the mango tree, their sanctuary, was threatened when Mr. Mugisha demanded Okot's land, which included the tree. Desperate, Musa and Akello decided to speak to the village elders for help. Their plea moved the community, and a collective effort managed to pay off part of the debt. Under the tree that night, Musa apologized. "I've been unfair to you," he said. Akello smiled through her tears. "We'll make it through. Together." High school became both a blessing and a burden. The school fees were more than Musa's family could afford, but Okot refused to let his son drop out. "Education is your way out," he insisted, selling another portion of their land to cover costs. Akello's parents, though better off, also made sacrifices. Her mother took extra weaving jobs to pay for books. Akello shared them with Musa whenever she could, ensuring neither fell behind. They spent long nights studying under a kerosene lamp, their laughter and shared frustrations easing the weight of their challenges. Akello's academic excellence earned her recognition from teachers, and even a scholarship offer from a donor visiting the school. Musa cheered for her, but deep down, insecurity took root. He felt he was falling behind not only academically, but also in their shared dream. One afternoon, Musa snapped. "Maybe you don't need me anymore," he said bitterly. Akello, hurt, replied, "Musa, this isn't a competition. It's us against the world, remember?" Her words softened his anger, but the tension lingered. Musa's insecurities were magnified when Okot's health began to fail. The hard-working farmer struggled to breathe, his body worn down by years in the fields. Musa spent more time helping at home and less on his studies, widening the gap between him and Akello. Akello noticed Musa's exhaustion and tried to lighten his load by tutoring him in secret. "You're not alone," she whispered one night. Musa looked at her, tears brimming. "You're the only thing holding me together, Akello." Their relationship deepened as Musa and Akello leaned on each other emotionally. One moonlit night, under the mango tree, Musa finally voiced his fears. "What if I never make it to medical school?" he asked. Akello took his hand. "You will. And even if you don't, I'll still be here. You're more than your dream, Musa. You're my dream." Her words melted the barriers between them, and for the first time, they kissed under the sheltering branches. Their love blossomed, but challenges loomed. Musa's family faced eviction as Mr. Mugisha's demands grew harsher. Akello convinced her parents to lend Musa's family some money, but it wasn't enough. Musa contemplated leaving school to work full-time, but Akello wouldn't hear of it. "We made a promise," she reminded him. "We'll keep it." Together, they began brainstorming ways to raise funds, setting the stage for their next big fight. A national scholarship program was announced, offering full funding for the top 3 students in their district. Akello saw it as Musa's chance, but Musa doubted himself. "You'll win it," he told her. "You're brilliant." Akello wasn't satisfied. "We both need to try." Together, she spent every spare moment preparing Musa, ignoring her own exhaustion. Their bond deepened, but so did the pressure. Desperation drove Okot to accept Mr. Mugisha's offer to lease their land temporarily. Musa discovered the deal only after it was signed, and was furious. "You sold our future," he yelled. Okot's voice broke. "I did it for you?" The strain at home seeped into Musa's schoolwork, threatening his chances in the scholarship race. On the day of the scholarship exam, Musa's nerves nearly overwhelmed him. Akello held his hand before they entered the exam hall. "Breathe," she said. "You got this." Musa struggled through the test, but emerged feeling defeated. Akello's confidence in him was unwavering, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he'd failed both the exam and himself. When the results were announced, Akello had topped the district, earning a scholarship. Musa didn't place. Though Akello celebrated, Musa felt his failure deeply. He congratulated her, but grew distant, unable to face his shame. One night, Akello confronted him. "I didn't win for me. I won for us," she said. Musa broke down, admitting his fear of being left behind. Their love faced its toughest test yet. Musa decided to take a gap year to save money and retake the scholarship exam. Akello promised to support him, even as she prepared to leave for medical school. "This isn't the end," she assured him. "It's just a detour." Their goodbye under the mango tree was bittersweet. Musa carved their initials into the bark, a reminder of their unbroken promise. Medical school in Kampala was a whirlwind of challenges and opportunities. Okello threw herself into her studies, determined to make the most of her scholarship. Yet, she couldn't shake the ache of Musa's absence. Letters became their lifeline. Musa's words, filled with love and determination, reminded her of why they had started this journey together. Back in the village, Musa worked tirelessly, herding cattle, helping in fields, and tutoring younger students. Every coin he earned went into a fund for his future. His sister, Amara, dropped out of school to support the family, a sacrifice that weighed heavily on Musa. He studied late into the night, using Okello's old notes. Her belief in him kept him going. Musa's hard work paid off when he earned a place in a vocational training program that would prepare him for another shot at the scholarship. The program wasn't free, but the community rallied around him, pooling resources to pay his fees. Okello cheered from afar, her letters filled with encouragement. "I'm waiting for you here," she wrote. "Don't let me wait too long." On a visit home, Okello noticed the mango tree had stopped bearing fruit. Her father explained it was aging, its roots no longer strong enough to sustain it. The metaphor wasn't lost on Okello, who feared her relationship with Musa was also losing strength. But when she saw Musa, his determination reignited her faith in their dream. Musa passed his vocational program with flying colors and secured admission to a nearby medical school. Though the distance between him and Okello remained, they were now on parallel paths. Under the mango tree, they reaffirmed their promise. "We'll do this," Musa said. Together, the mango tree bore witness to their continued resilience. It stood as a symbol of their love and ambition, rooted deeply in their shared history. They both knew, however, that the path ahead would demand even greater sacrifices. Okello excelled at Kampala's prestigious medical school, quickly becoming a favorite among her professors. Her natural aptitude for medicine and her unwavering dedication set her apart. She spent long hours in the library, dissecting anatomy textbooks and practicing procedures in the lab. However, as much as she thrived academically, loneliness often crept in. The letters from Musa became the highlight of her days. His updates were filled with stories of his struggles and triumphs at his medical school. Though his institution lacked resources, his passion shone through. Musa often spoke of his admiration for Okello, calling her his inspiration. Yet he couldn't hide his insecurities. "Sometimes I feel like I'm chasing a shadow," he admitted in one letter. Despite their distance, their bond remained strong. Okello found herself staying up late to write back, offering encouragement and sharing her own moments of doubt. "We're in this together," she reminded him, even as her own challenges mounted. Musa's journey was a stark contrast to Okello's. His school was underfunded, and he often had to study with outdated materials. His professors, though well-meaning, were stretched thin. But Musa's empathy and natural charm won him the admiration of his peers and teachers alike. Patients at the local clinic, where he volunteered, often asked for the kind one. Despite his growing confidence in his practical skills, Musa's academic performance lagged behind. He wrote to Okello about his struggles, confessing his fear of not being able to match her achievements. "What if I'm not enough?" he asked. Okello's response was firm. "You've always been enough. You're the reason I believe in this dream." Okoth's health took a turn for the worse. Musa rushed home during a term break to find his father confined to bed. His breathing labored. The local clinic, ill-equipped to handle complex cases, could only offer pain relief. Musa felt helpless as he watched his father weaken. Okello, hearing of Okoth's condition, wrote to Musa immediately. "This is why we're doing this," she said. "So no one has to suffer like this again." Her words struck a chord with Musa, reigniting his resolve. When Okot passed away, the entire village mourned. His funeral was a reminder of the fragility of life in Kawanda and the urgent need for better healthcare. Musa, though heartbroken, stood before the mourners and pledged to return as a doctor who would serve his community. The villagers rallied around Musa, seeing him as their hope for a better future. Even Mr. Mugisha, moved by Okot's death, offered to support Musa's education. "The village needs you," he said. Musa accepted the offer with humility, knowing it was a chance to honor his father's memory. Back at medical school, Musa threw himself into his studies with renewed purpose. He took on more volunteer work at the clinic, gaining practical experience and honing his skills. His letters to Okello became brighter, filled with hope and plans for the future. Meanwhile, Okello began an internship at a leading hospital in Kampala. Her exposure to advanced medical techniques deepened her understanding of what was possible, but it also made her acutely aware of the disparity between urban and rural healthcare. She started advocating for policies that would bridge the gap, inspired by her experiences in Kawanda. Despite their separate paths, Musa and Okello's shared vision grew stronger. They dreamed of building a clinic in their village, a place where no one would have to face what their families had endured.